Hello, hello. Welcome everyone. How is it going? Happy Friday to all of you. We have a special man here. Bam1500. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. I missed you guys last week.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had Chuji and not that Debo, and I hope you didn't watch the VOD because we were putting lots of pressure on you this week. But
Oh,
hopefully,
really?
yeah. I'm just messing with you.
Oh, boy. So where are you? No camera today for you, huh? Just me?
Yeah, so that's why we're a little late. I was having some technical difficulties. For some reason, my camera just decided to start freezing up on me. But, that's not going to delay us here. We're going to continue with the show, and we're going to talk about, all the great things about World of Tanks this week. And
Of course
speaking
we are.
of, what do we have in store for us this week, Mr. Bam?
Right. I'll take it away. Yeah, so this week, we still have the season active, of course, of Evolution. Now my cat is joining the stream because he hears me talking. So we got a cat on stream with this week with us now as well. Hope you guys enjoy. Um, Moving down the list here, new daily login challenge. We have complete a daily challenge for 40 days and be rewarded with a Tier 9 Kampfpanzer 50T. And then I think we have something to show the people, do we not?
It's a beautiful artist rendition of the 50T here. I believe we saw this one last week, but if you haven't gotten a chance to check it out, it's still available for all of you.
There you go. That's part of the new daily login challenge. And plus other rewards along the way. And then we also have a increased XP earns event. The better you do, the more XP you will earn. Earn 1,000 or more XP in any number of battles, and you will be rewarded with 50% extra XP. And then the mythology key cards are back. I'm actually kind of excited about these because I missed them their first round.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have an asset to show our audience on that as well.
Did you get a chance to look at all the mythology
I
key
did,
cards?
yes. I am really going to be aiming for the Egyptian legends.
Ooh.
What about you? I feel like you might be a Norse legends kind of guy yourself, no?
I think so, but I do like the Egyptian legend ones as well. I
Hmm.
honestly I like them all. That there's a Oni looking guy, like a warrior here.
Yes, yes.
He's really interesting to me. And then down at the bottom of the list here, we also have that the snake god on the bottom right. I like that guy.
Well, I want to look up his name really quick. I know which one you're talking about. It's like it's actually named after like a bird, like a prehistoric bird, the Quetzalcoatl.
Uh, what's the
Now I'm
bottle?
probably really butchering that name, but that's what we do on these streams, don't, isn't it?
It's either food talk or butchering names. That's what we do here. But additionally, we also like to give it all away. So stay tuned and we'll have some nice giveaways.
Wonderful. Coming soon. And then, of course, we still have the contract for the caboose.
And that about wraps it up for this week. But what
Yes.
about, that's not all we have, right, Mr. Bam?
Well, let's talk about what's up and coming. No.
What is up and coming?
All right, guys. So next week brings a new tank into the battlefield, and it's actually sitting a little bit behind me here, behind my cat, and behind me. um, Next week brings a new tank into the battlefield, the Caliban. Now, however, along with it will come a bit of discussion about auto reloaders. So auto reloaders has been a subject of, well, much debate, both internally amongst us developers and externally amongst you, the players. When we release a new auto reloader, we are confident in its ability to perform well with the given stats. However, with each release, we receive a lot of similar feedback on these vehicles, and well, more or less end up getting some negative reception versus some of the positive reception we were hoping for. We keep a close eye on these vehicles due to the feedback received, much like the recently released AMVT. For those of you that have been using them, they have been performing really well and above average across all skill levels. This shows that, in fact, these vehicles are very effective to the owners that really learn to master these tanks, right? However, even though these are highly effective, there is a certain play style that is simply perhaps not appealing to all players, right? So with this in mind, we're trying some experiments, and with the Caliban, we are actually providing 2 gun options onto the tank. The first gun is of course, this 2-round auto reloader for those players who enjoy this type of play style and retains the original lure to it. The second gun will be a single fire gun. This option is for those who are interested in the tank but not really fond of auto reloaders. So at least this will help match your play style. So we hope that by giving you guys a choice in the guns, this will suit your different play styles differently. The vehicle will appeal to more players and maybe get more positive reception moving forward. As always, we want to know what your guys' feedback is on these types of tanks. And we always strive to make the changes and try things a little bit differently, right?
Absolutely.
And hopefully everyone can enjoy it.
There's only one way to find out if things working out right, and it's checking them out, trying them out.
Just try them out, yeah. And of course, the Caliban is a Tier 8 British heavy tank. And then I think we have something to show.
Let us take a look here. We might have a little sneak peek, but we'll figure that out in a second. We have for now.
I can also step away if you guys want to see the Caliban with its skin.
Listen, let's go ahead and do that for
Let's do that.
old time's sake.
Ta-da!
Now we have a nice little artist rendition here of the Caliban.
There we go.
And Bam's fancy background there, which is it's a nice little image. I like it. I like it a lot.
Rugged.
It's got a little bit of like the camo netting in front, right? And it's got some type of like rugged look, right?
Yeah, it's like a worn down and kind of tattered camo pattern on, or not pattern, but a camo net.
Right. And I always appreciate the camo nets myself.
Mm-hmm. So there you go, guys. This will be available on August 23rd, available in 3 different bundles. Of course, the primed, fully loaded, and base. So that's the Caliban. All right, also next week. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think we are ready for a giveaway.
Are we now? Is it giveaway time?
It is giveaway time.
All right, well.
Unless you tell me otherwise.
Oh, you're running the show here. We're just
I run
we're just
the show,
pushing.
you run the giveaways.
We're pushing buttons over here, behind the scenes. So for a chance to win an Ultimate Season Pass, go ahead and, as per usual here, go ahead and enter this giveaway by typing in your Wargaming ID into the link that I just provided in chat, and you'll be eligible for all of our giveaways today. And I saw someone last week typing in their Wargaming ID in chat here. Don't do that. You won't be entered. You have to fill out the one question survey, which is, what is your Wargaming ID? So for example, mine would be Tankz0rz -X for Xbox or P for PlayStation. Alrighty.
A much better streamlined process.
At first I was a little weary, I was like, oh, new process. I like my old way with the hashtags, and then I was like, you know what? I was like, this is a little more streamlined. I like it.
We have to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Per the season. Anyway.
I see what you did there.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Tankz0rz. So also upcoming next week, we have a Tier 8, 9, and 10 bonus. The Tier 10 silver bonus you know and love, extended now to Tiers 8 and 9. So get yourselves that silver. Then we also have the early start. Are you guys within your first 30 days of playing the game? Are you introducing someone new to the game? For this week, or rather next week, you'll earn 50% extra silver and XP across all battles. Again, that's it as long as you're a new player within 30 days of being into the game. And then premium bonus, you can also get 50% extra silver and XP across the following lines. That is the M3A2 Bradley line, the Object 268, Tier 5 and up, and the CS63, Tier 5 and up. And that's what we have coming next week.
Excellent.
Then, moving right down the list, should we go into the our weekly shout-outs?
Ooh, it's a weekly shout-out time.
All right, weekly shout-out time. I feel like we're marching through this pretty quick today.
I think we have a little bit too much caffeine. We're probably speed running through this, but you know what? That gives us some more time towards the end of the stream.
You know what it is? It's Chuji. He talks too much.
Listen, don't tell him that, but you know, he's got lots of knowledge in his brain,
sure.
so he's always happy to share all of that. So we definitely appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So shout out segment. So everybody that I announce here for making some amazing battle feats in World of Tanks, you guys will be awarded with a confidential key card. So for max combined damage in a single battle in the Marbreaker, let's see. Ooh, this is Orihime Ino XD with 8,157 damage. So congrats to you. That is really well done. And I'm sorry if I really butchered your name. Next up the list for another max combined damage in a single battle in the VK 16801. Flying Egg. There's a nice and easy name to make. For 7,466 damage. So congrats to you. And then again, for another max combined damage in a single battle in the M48A5 Patton, that is the World War II version, by Wintry Sphere 41 with 11,661 damage. So congrats to you three for the single battle damage spikes there. Amazing.
And what do we have next here for max damage in a single battle in the FV 4005 Stage 2 World War II tank, KT Godlike at 10,421 damage.
Now we're in the 10K club here.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, we have most spotted assists in a single battle in the T100 LT, and that is Bailu 666 with 12,924 damage. That's a lot of damage. We're just getting more and more damage. I thought, you know, the 11K, 10K, we're getting 12K in the next one. You want to take the next one, Bam?
Yeah, let's go for it. A very familiar user, max combined damage in a single battle in the T100 Light again, as before, Billoy 666 with now 16,527 damage.
So not only
so this player had two records, and that's why we're sharing both. So congrats.
Yeah, the spotted and the damage. So
yep. And then milestones for players who crested over a certain threshold of battles. So for 100,000 battles, we have Wildstar 3893, Acrid Auto 08, Warrior 1, and Vladia 3000. All you guys have made it over 100,000 battles. Huge congrats to you. And then this week also we have Island Man 7, who has hit the 110,000 battle.
You know what that calls for, right?
Celebration?
That's the obligatory. That's a lot of battles.
That'd be a lot of battles.
That is a lot of battles. And we definitely appreciate, you know, everyone that puts the time. It's a lot of hard work to get that amount of battles, and that's dedication right there.
Absolutely. All right.
I think you have a special segment coming up here, don't we?
I do have a special segment. So I guess this was coming up from the community. They wanted a little bit more information about maps, and we're curious about some of the heat map data and what we look at between like World War II mode and Cold War mode. This came up very last minute to me this week, so I just kind of dug into some of our latest map releases that we did into the game, pulled their data, and I thought, I'd share 2 maps with you guys this week, and we can very well make this maybe a more regular cadence going forward.
Yeah,
So
last
I don't
week
know.
there was
Oh, I'm
definitely
sorry.
some people. Last week there was definitely some people asking about maps, and I was like, well, we'll save it for when Bam comes back, and now we're here. So
Always happy to talk maps, you guys.
yeah, definitely. So what do we have
So,
for us here?
all right. So let me know when they got the first image up. We're gonna be looking at Nomenhan first.
All right, we got Nomenhan.
Map of Nomenhan. So give me just a moment here to kind of explain what we're looking here, because I'm sure there's quite a few of you that understand exactly what we're looking at, but to help decipher this for others, let me walk you guys through it. So we're looking at the map of Nomenhan, which is available in both World War II and Cold War, which I've labeled in the upper left corner of each image. So on the left-hand side, we have the World War II data of Nomenhan, and the right-hand side, we have the Cold War data. And this is the radar map, and also labeled where the team spawns are generally at. All the bluish and green kind of bubbles that you see on here, this is actually the data. This is a position heat map of where the common places players have kind of traveled to in the map. The hotter the colors are, if it gets more green, more yellow, more red, that's more of a hot spot where more players are congregating to. And this is kind of telling of what the meta of the map is. This is where players are kind of heading to and finding either the most survivability or the most success, etc. And it's also worth noting that, yes, if you guys look toward where it points out the South team and North team, it is very much a hotspot because this data does also include the spawn positions. So what we're looking at is about 2 or 3 weeks worth of data of this map. And it's not just any single moment captured in a match of this map. We're looking at, any time from the start of the match to the end of it. So players just kind of moving throughout, and wherever they end up in congregate in groups is kind of where we generate the hotspots. So I hope that kind of clarifies things a little bit here. You can kind of already see a little bit of differences here and there, and I highlighted it with a red circle. If you look on the left for World War II first, the big red circle, and compare that to the Cold War version on the right, on the Cold War version, there's a very faint vertical blue line heading up, that there was much more players kind of going through the field here because of much quicker of a route. But on the World War II version, more players seem to be tending to go more south and through the city side, probably to bank to the east end much more. And as well, on the World War II version, you see more people kind of hugging the walls a bit as well. And I think we can conclude, with the true vision system of Cold War and the traversal speeds of Cold War vehicles, it makes a bit of a difference of players' behavior and how they'll just go from one end to the other in the middle of a field, or kind of hug the corners and stay, out of detection range. That's just a small example. So let's look at this smaller circle now. This was another one that I kind of nitpicked on when I wanted to really quickly look for any sort of differences here. World War II version, you can see it's a lot greener. It's a bit hotter. Much more players are congregating on that little mound there with 2 sets of rocks, versus the Cold War variant, a lot less. What this tells us is, yeah, there's players in both sets that are using this area. It's kind of at least known as a good area to hold as a front. But with the visibility system, players in Cold War can't quite poke their heads out quite as much or stay on that position as long as they'd probably prefer, because they are spotted from long distances without them knowing and have to backtrack a little bit. And then if you have it available, let's hop onto the next image here. And once again, I'll have to explain this one a little bit as well.
Alrighty, let's take a look at the next image. It's another Namahan, isn't it?
Yes. So this is Nomonhan again. Same arrangement. I, I should also back up just to identify a few other filters that were in play here. We are looking specifically at standard battle. And when I say World War II, we are looking at tiers 8 and up. And Cold War is all 3 eras, just to be specific on that. And I also I removed SPGs from World War II just to have a better comparison between both, because there's not really a class in Cold War that would generally hang back at spawn. And then I removed any bots. So these are exclusively players that we're seeing here. So now what we're looking at in this data, this is a vector line showing a kill death. So what it is, at the origin point, which is green, the green dot is where a player was in a position. And if you follow that line, you see it kind of gradients into a red. That red dot at the end was a victim in which they were able to shoot and destroy a tank from that other end of the shot. So this is kind of telling of where players may find more success in areas around the map and find spots that either work or do not work, or are equally successful. Because as you can kind of see, it's a bit of a mess. There's a lot of lines going back and forth. We are looking at both teams. I could have isolated this to make it a little bit more digestible to read, but with the time remaining and being able to show so many images at once, I thought this would just very quickly summarize what's going on. Once again, I highlighted that same hill that we pointed out in the position map. We're seeing, again, on the World War II version, it's a very strong point to hold for both as a spotter and as someone that can fire from that location pretty well. There's several points in which players are finding success in hitting targets from that area with very little contestment from enemy players firing at them. On the Cold War side of things, you can see it's not as successful. There is like a single dot. Now that single dot still represents about like dozens of instances, but it's not as much as the World War II variant you see on the left. So that's just as an example. But to kind of explain to you guys why I'm showing you all this is a little bit of insight as to what we take a look at when we go into balancing the maps, understanding the meta, what are players adapting to in the formation of the map, and how we may change things, and how does player behavior change based on what we've maybe altered in the map itself. Oftentimes we like to take the easier approach first and just make spawn point adjustments or base capture position adjustments. But there are times we may have to make some asset changes or terrain changes as well to really make sure that whatever we're trying to do here will impact the balance in a more positive way. So that's really all I wanted to share on Nomonhan. And then I do have one more map that I'd like to share with you guys.
Let's take a look. It looks like it's Siegfried Line.
Siegfried Line. So this was the last map that we released into the game last season. Kind of a similar situation here. So we're looking at the position heat map once again. And what would probably be very obvious is going out in the field is not a very popular direction to go in if you're in the Cold War. As you can see in the left, the circle that I kind of highlighted in the middle to the left of the map, it's that middle area for World War II is pretty good because you can stay very hidden and invisible back there, perfect for TDs and light tanks. But for Cold War, you're kind of a sitting duck out there. Whether you're spotted or not, with true vision, you may have trouble advancing from cover to cover in that area.
Right, and the terrain out there is you have like little hills, right, and a couple of bushes and the little bunker.
Yeah, just a little here and there. Yeah. Otherwise, it's more of the hard cover that you're trying to really gravitate toward and use to your advantage. And not surprisingly, much of the battle takes place like in the heart of the city quite a bit and along the eastern border where players are kind of fighting along that road. And then I did highlight toward the south team on the Cold War side. I just kind of noted that there was a much more of a hot spot around, there's, I believe, like a pillbox in that area. So a lot of players were certainly gravitating toward that and kind of hugging that area as well. And then if we go ahead and move to the kill death vector, we can also see
Before we
a
move
little
to
bit
that
how
one,
successful that area
I just
was.
wanted to make note here that I personally, I like looking at stuff like this. I think it's interesting. So for myself, I always gravitate towards the city, but right now, just seeing that like a lot of players play between the two lakes is definitely interesting. I'm assuming they're sniping, but I
Yeah.
found that quite interesting. So
And if I were to like change the filters and allow for more instances to show up, because I should point out the minimum number of instances that we're actually showing here um, is 200 players at any given time. So I can always drop that count to be like, let's look at every position of every single player. Um, and then we would actually see all these kind of course lines throughout the entire map, or it just might be kind of a hazy blue throughout.
sounds good.
And then do we have the vector line up, or did we close that out?
We have it. We have it. We have it.
Oh, sorry, like it's up and available. They can see it right now.
Yeah, it's up now.
Okay. So this is just like the Nomenhan one. That we're also showing you guys the vector lines of where players were successful in destroying an enemy tank from the other end. In that same spot I circled at the bottom, you can see that there on Cold War mode, players are finding success there, as opposed to players in World War II mode, because the players there are actually able to see much further past the city, a little bit west of the city, and firing on other enemies hiding behind a pillbox to the north. So take some notes, guys, because there are some sound strategies and things to consider here. But I'm sure some of the pro players are probably already understand like where are the go-to places to be most successful.
Oh, definitely. And for someone that's not as professional as some of our great players out there, like I said, I thought it was interesting, at least on this one here, where some players gravitate towards. So next time I play on Siegfried, you know where I'm going to go? I'm going to check out what's going on in between those two lakes.
Right. And yeah, so that's the maps I had to show you guys for this week. With the limited time I had to prep, I think there are ways I could do this better, because I know in the past we've also provided you guys animated data, and you can actually see, like through a course of many battles, you can see the players and where they're going, not just like by just a static image, but the actual animation of all the blue, kind of like almost like a virus taking over the map. It's kind of fascinating. But hit us up. Let us know what maps you guys would love to see next time. If I have more time to prepare, I can always collect that data, get something, to present, and be more than happy to do this again next time.
Excellent. I'm sure players would love to see some of their favorite maps on here.
Yeah, let's hear it.
And
I mean, if you have more specifics as well, like we don't have to always draw comparisons between World War II and Cold War. We can also take a look, like where are people drowning in maps? Where are people flipping their tanks around?
oh, I know all the drowning spots. Believe me.
If you guys want to know how good you're doing against the bots in PvE mode, if that is of interest, we absolutely can dig that up.
So, before we go any further here, I think it's time to announce our winner of the Ultimate Season Pass. What do you think, Bam?
I think it is time.
Alrighty.
I'm ready.
Our winner for the Ultimate Season Pass is TXDDY R6. I believe it might be Teddy R6. Congratulations, Teddy. You are the winner of our Ultimate Season Pass. But wait, there's more. Bam. We're releasing a brand new shiny tank. It's right behind you.
Yes, we are.
I think we should take a look at something special, shouldn't we? I mean, if you don't want the players to see something special, I mean, we don't have to show them, but we might have a little trailer in store for them. So let's go ahead and take a look here.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Let's check it out.
These guys enjoy. So what do you guys think? Bam?
Excitement, man.
Exciting stuff. I like it. I like it.
New tank and a remastered map coming back to you guys.
Ooh, cool. Yeah, I see people saying cool, lovely, smiley face, lots of cool emojis. Sounds like players are excited. And why don't we give one of these away? One of these bad boys away in celebration of its release.
I would be disappointed if we hadn't.
All right, well, for your chance to win your very own Caliban, go ahead and enter in our giveaway link. And if you have already, you are set to go. If you have not, I will post the link here shortly. There we go.
Boom.
Alrighty. What else do we have here? Is it question time?
I think we are ready for community questions.
All right. Let's go ahead and fire this up.
All right. So, from Reddit user Piriper0. Hopefully that's right. What do the developers think about the time duration of matches? Do they try to encourage fast matches, slow matches, or something else? I would say it's more about the experience in the matches. You can have a very boring or difficult match that is like 5 minutes, or it could even be 15 minutes. A whole 15 minutes could be a snipe fest of not much moving around, or it could be the most exciting, like move to cover advancements. One front falls, you fall back, you retreat, you go to that one, and then it comes down to a one-on-one toward the end, with seconds left on the clock. Like, I don't think it's much about do we try to keep matches slow or faster. I think it's as long as there is a great experience coming out of it. A lot of the matches, of course, grow organically. As you move up in tier, or if there's matches with a lot of heavy tanks or TDs, these will naturally be much longer matches, the way it kind of goes. Other times, just the way the objectives work out, if players are all going for trying to capture the base right away, or just trying to duke it out in one brawling corner, it really all varies. Some of my favorite matches, quite honestly, will go all the way up to the buzzer to 15 minutes when it's down to like a 1v1. Like, those are some of the more exciting ones. The ones that are always a close call.
I definitely like that answer with, having it become organic, make it its own thing rather than us specifically saying, we want this one to be a 15-minute match,
Right. I mean, so we have, our matches are locked to 15 minutes, right? I say for Assault, I believe we did bring that one down to 10 minutes. And that's for, balancing purposes. But, that's to keep you guys into the game and engaged. You don't want to have to wait longer than 15 minutes after a match. If you had died early and you want to spectate a friend playing through it or something, or you're back in the garage and you're still waiting for your tank to return. So the 15 minutes was the nice sweet spot.
Definitely.
Next question from community ambassador Zoran234. Dispersion values in game didn't seem to get into the August updates. Will they come in the next update? No current time frame for that at this time. It is a UI undertaking with a lot of the other priorities we have going on for UI. It's something that we have a ticket for, but I can't give any sort of timeline at this time. From Reddit user MBDean26. The class-specific challenges are fun, such as the light tank challenge. Can we please get a concurrent counter challenge like destroy 30 light tanks playing as a medium, heavy, or tank destroyer? We can certainly consider bringing these back, and I can't put my foot down to say yeah, we'll keep this as an always concurrent thing going on. We do like to bring this in as for certain events, certain tank line releases. We also understand that this kind of trips up the meta a little bit sometimes with a great population of players going in as one tank class or something. That's why sometimes we have the counterplay op to like attack those light tanks. So something concurrent, worth a discussion. But certainly you guys can look forward to more of that in the future too. Go ahead.
I was saying, I definitely thought that was a great addition that when we first added, the counterplay ops, when we had, everyone do this, and then, no one can complete those type of ops because they weren't playing, the opposite type of tank. So,
right.
We definitely take a look at that. I think it'd be interesting.
It's all about being inclusive too. Like not everybody wants to play a light tank.
Right.
Like, I'm a medium tank player, but give me an opportunity to stop these light tankers, right?
Right.
Okay, from Reddit user Fluffy Cult. Tanks rotate at their actual speed in the garage. It gets a thumbs up from me. Can we have them stay in the same orientation when you scroll through them? Oh, well, okay. So when you're going through the tank reel, they always reset because they kind of load. Like every tank is loaded and unloaded as you kind of go through them. But they're wondering if they rotate their tank. They want to look at the back of every tank. It's a good idea. It's something we can consider. I'm not sure what that would mean on load time. Because we are trying to already improve a lot of that stuff on the garage end as we speak.
Yeah, I think priority one's always, be able to scroll through your massive library of tanks as quickly as possible. But, if it doesn't hinder that, then yeah, maybe we could take a look at that.
Yeah. From Reddit user Worried Amoeba 2. Can we get a Chilean Sherman with a 60 millimeter gun? A bunch of them were modified in the 80s. I mean, we can certainly keep that in mind. We do have like an ever-growing tank list and are like going through trying to determine like, okay, which ones do we pick out for the next release, right? So we can certainly add that on there if it's not already on there. Okay, so this is from just general community interest. Could we have somewhere in-game to see where tank skins we own, since we may not have the tank for them? Okay, so a way to almost like shop for skins, even though if you don't have the tank just yet. Yes, we actually have a working ticket for it, and I do understand that it's really kind of dug deep into the game, and it's hard to kind of search for them. Certainly an improvement we want to work on ourselves too.
That'd be an interesting little window shopping feature, right?
Yeah. So it's like closed shopping for your tanks. Another one from just community interest. Is there any update on being able to return the GUP tank to the store? That's the Girls und Panzer. So this was a licensed tank. This is very similar to how we have to handle like the Hot Wheels tanks and the G.I. Joe tanks. They're all through licensing, so we can't always just on a whim just put it out for the next weekend sale or something. And we can absolutely start those discussions and start trying to get those licenses to have them back on sale. I don't have a time frame of when that can be, but it's not never. We can certainly always talk about bringing it back. Then from Community Ambassador D Generatio, are there any plans to add the UDES 03 as a premium tank? Currently, no plans at the moment. It looks like we're trying to figure out how does this differ from the current existing tech tree version of the STRV S1 Premium. We try to make sure things stand out quite a bit when we determine like a release of a tank that is already in there in some way. So yeah, no plans at this time. And then I got to catch up on these other questions coming in.
I like how you name that Swedish TD there.
The UDES.
It's
or the UDES.
UDES.
UDES. All right, next question from Patrice Tunet. When the French tanks in Cold War when will the French tanks in Cold War be released? And when will the next Cold War tank when the next Cold War tank will be released too? Still working on the schedule, but you may see the first one show up towards the end of the year. Let's see, from Kiwi USMC. Can we get American military flags for our tanks, like the U.S. Marine Corps or U.S. Navy. You can find all the service branch emblems in the special emblem section in game. We can look at also changing the category of the emblem so it's a little bit easier to find them, and then you can even create custom flags perhaps as well. From J.W. Dobbs, were the prices for premium ammo in Cold War Era 1 recently changed? If so, can we get these publicized when they happened, or when they will happen? To our knowledge, we haven't made any changes. If there is a specific tank you'd like us to check out on, it could be a bug and we just missed it, and we'll just have to investigate.
Yeah, and if that's the case, yeah, just reach out to us on Discord or our support tickets, and we'll be happy to take a look at that, because if it's a bug, we'd like to resolve that for all.
Absolutely. All right, next question here. Rugish Hound. Can we get the bucket contract? You guys sure can. Scheduled for the end of the month.
Ooh, nice. There
you go. Ask and thou shall receive. Next question from Bruce2401. What about the skins for the E3, Chieftain, and Challenger? Pingot said they would come with the new season. These were player requested tiers, skins for the tier 10s that will be, look forward to it toward the end of the year.
That sounds great.
A loaded Psycho asks, is Hellfire Pass coming to Cold War and World War II? The answer is yes. All eras in Cold War and tiers 7 and up in World War II. In fact, the game modes have a slightly different arrangement between World War II and Cold War to adopt the true vision and the speeds of which Cold War era tanks play in. Coming down the list here. Robo Chicken asks, always wondered why being against a tier 10 and a tier 8, I didn't get extra silver. You do actually earn extra silver and XP for the tier difference, but it will be very dependent on how much damage you kind of output. You got to do work to actually earn silver.
Got to look for the weak spots.
Yeah. So if you're not penning, you're not going to be getting any silver for that. Tactical Potato. I actually remember this guy coming up before. Will the French M10 RBFM be added to the premium tree this year? This tank is an exclusive reward for the recruitment program for Tanker Rewards. So, sorry. Question from Nate Unix. Any updates on the FV107's low payout economics? Let's see. We followed up on this before, but there was no issues. It's earning appropriately the right amount of net silver. So that's about that. Sorry, I just lost my spot here.
I believe it's from a loaded Psycho again. And this player's asking, can we get some smaller maps back in World War II, like Ghost Town, Abbey, Mountain Pass? I think you forgot Wide Park in there, but it's okay. What do you have to say about that, Bam?
Funny enough, I actually just sent a ticket over to Lady O to start thinking about, because this did come up on stream before, about getting smaller maps into higher tiers in World War II. You're specifically asking Ghost Town and Abbey and Mountain Pass, and yeah, we did pull those down from high tiers. What we're pitching though is a week-long or a weekend event where we can bring some of these smaller maps into the higher tiers temporarily. I'm going to make that very clear, just for a weekend event. So some players that do like playing, say, mines in tier 10, you guys can get that opportunity for a weekend. Likewise, we can also look at maps like Desful, Caliban, some of those Cold War exclusive maps. We can bring those into some of the high tiers in World War II. Again, strictly as an event-long time frame, so nothing permanent, because we do understand a lot of players don't like some of those maps in those tier ranges, but we're also trying to cater to allow players that enjoy the fun of having those in there sometimes. So more to come on that soon. Excuse me. Now, unless I misconstrued the answer, the question here, if you guys were also asking for just getting more small maps into World War II that are not already included, we're still working on them. Things are coming down the pipe. All right. Next question from the Crusader. Ramrod contract. We don't have this one yet scheduled, but coming up soon. Let's see. Coming down to the end of the list here. Actually, I'm kind of surprised how quickly.
Before we go on here.
Yeah.
I believe not that Debo's he's watching here, and he called you out on a missed opportunity, didn't he? When you were talking about the Udis.
I am not a dad joke kind of guy. I actually am not really good at jokes either. So, there's going to be a lot of missed opportunities.
Well, the missed opportunity was new phone, Udis.
In regards to that Sweden, that tier 8 Swedish premium, right?
Right. Appreciate it.
Okay, we got just a couple more questions here, guys. So from Chaffee Steam, any other PC premiums coming to console? I mean, absolutely. We're always trying to prioritize tanks that we feel players enjoy the most. I mentioned this earlier. We have like a whole list of tanks that we're still kind of going through on determining like where to fit them into a scheduled release in the future. Let's see. From Brett Watcher, will we be able to buy permanent camo with silver in the future? I mean, no plans at the moment. I'll be clear on that right now. We removed the gold cost for cosmetics since camouflage provides an actual bonus to your vehicle, so the gold value was kept. But it's something we can think about in the future. Question from the Sippin' Tea. Will the Armadillo get a buff as the game has moved on significantly since it was nerfed? It's still performing solid at a 52% win rate at the moment. So it's holding its own pretty well at the moment. And I think with that is the end of the questions that at least I see.
Sounds great. Well, before we go, we have to announce our winners. We don't want to leave them hanging like that. So let's take a look at who our winner is. And our winner for the brand new shiny Caliban, Tankz0rz. Congratulations.
Congrats, Tankz0rz.
Winner of our nice new shiny tank. I'd like to thank everyone for hanging out with us and getting to take a look at all the nice and shiny new tanks and events and whatnot that's going on in World of Tanks this week. For that, we thank you, and we'll see you next week. For those of you that are on Twitch, stick around. We'll go raid one of our community contributors. For everyone else, I wish you a happy weekend, and we'll check you out next time.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
All right, take care. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.